Hey guys, welcome back. It's Bradley again from Samsung, one of the training specialists, and today we're going to continue with the Note 8, and this time we are talking around the next focal point of the Note, which is write. And pretty simply, it's pretty much all because of this little guy over here, this little S Pen, which is neatly tucked away into the bottom of the Note 8, which really just gives you so much more functionality than a stylus or a pen or pretty much any writing utensil that you might traditionally be used to. So as I said, definitely more than a pen, because the writing tip itself is a digitized pen, so it does interact with the display of the Note 8 with magnetic interaction, which is great for if you ever need to write and maybe the screen is wet. If you've ever had a device that is water resistant and you've had water on the screen, or maybe you happen to try and take photos underwater, you do find that the touch screen becomes less responsive because of the conductive nature of water. So because of its magnetic interaction, even if I was underwater with my S Pen and with my Note 8, because they are IP68, I would still be able to jot down notes, whether it be in the pool or something more realistically, maybe being caught in the rain. So as I said, the pen itself is digitized. It doesn't require any charging because of the magnetic interaction with the display. Very, very smart as the way it operates. Then there is this little button on the side of the S Pen over here, which allows me to press it, and it then triggers different functions or can be used for various things. You know, holding it down while writing will then convert it into an eraser, for example. So it really does give you so much more. The back of the pen has also got a nice little click mechanism. The main primary function for that is really just to be able to lock it into the device when you're not using it, and when you need to eject it, you just push the ejection pin and it kind of pops out and you pull out your pen. So main purpose, keeping it safe in your device inside your Note 8, but other than that, it just gives you that little, big click kind of feel. So it does still also give you that traditional feel, like it is a traditional click pen. Now, when we talk about, I mentioned pressure sensitivity. So because the S Pen reacts with the digitized layer on the screen, it does have multiple levels of sensitivity. So when I am writing, it gives me the very realistic impression of how you would traditionally write with pen and paper, where if you press light, you get a nice light line, and if you go a little bit harder, you get a darker line. So all of that, all those functionalities, nice and neatly in a very lightweight 3-gram S Pen. Of course, when I pull out my S Pen out of the device, whether it be on lock screen, it will trigger a feature called off-screen memo. If my screen is on, it will trigger something called air command. So let's move on and tell you a little bit more about the specs and details of the S Pen and how it actually benefits you. So as I said, enhanced pressure sensitivity on the S Pen will now be able to recognize up to 4,096 levels of sensitivity. As I said, the harder you push, the darker the line, the lighter you push, the lighter the line, so very realistic of real pen and paper. It also has become more responsive. So the faster responsiveness is attributed to the much lower latency that the S Pen is able to react with. So meaning if you are jotting down notes incredibly quickly, you're not going to see a trail of ink or digital ink following the S Pen. It will be writing as fast as you are. We've also then gone and made the tip of the S Pen a little bit more fine. Personally, I love fine point pens. I feel I can write a lot neater, a lot more accurately, and it definitely is one of the reasons of making the fine tip on the S Pen a little bit smaller. It's because of that more precise drawing capability that you are going to be fortunate to have with this S Pen. As I mentioned, also with the S Pen being the button on the side here, so the primary functions are when you pull out the S Pen, it will launch the air command feature, as well as when you are writing, if you hold the button down and you write, it actually does convert it to an eraser. So just one thing I'm quickly going to show you is how to launch the air command feature. Alright, so quickest way to launch your air command is when the screen is on, just by simply pulling out the S Pen. Which obviously then gives you the full functionality to be able to scroll through over there. But let's say, for example, you've tapped away from the screen or you've hit a button and it's disappeared. You will have the little air command icon over there. It is movable as well, so you can pretty much place it anywhere on the screen. And if I then go and tap on it, it then also launches the air command function like so. So as you can see, just a simple press of the button while your screen is active will then launch that air command feature. Now, the Air Command feature itself, being very exclusive to the Note device, offers you tons of different functions when it comes to actually utilizing your Note 8. So, as we can see, there's a whole list of features within that Air Command list. So we've got things like the ability to quickly go and create a note, other than the fact that I can very quickly just hold the button down, double tap on my screen, and it will then also create that note for me. I also have a feature called Smart Select, which allows me to go and grab specialized information off the screen rather than just doing a traditional screenshot. I've got my Screen Write feature, which allows me to take a traditional screenshot, but then being able to go and annotate over that, kind of overlay the writing on top of that screenshot. Perfect example if you want to show somebody directions and you don't want to have to explain it to them over again. Just screenshot the Google Maps and literally go and draw the path that they need to follow. We've also then got a feature called Live Message, which I'll show you in another episode because it is a really great feature. Just being able to personalize a message and send it to somebody rather than just sending them a traditional text message. We've also then introduced Bixby Vision into your Air Command, which allows your phone's camera to be able to recognize and detect different types of information. Also will be covered in another video. We've then got other additional features that are new, such as your Translate feature, your Magnify feature, Glance, and Coloring, all of which we'll go into a little bit more detail. The one that I haven't mentioned there just yet is the View All Notes. Now, View All Notes will essentially go and open up your Samsung Notes. Now, Samsung Notes is all your memos, your drawings, your important business meeting minutes, as well as maybe audio recordings of that meeting, all tucked away into one neat place. So you have the view of either being able to see it in a list view or a grid view. It's always stored in chronological order, so it's really easy to be able to get back and reference to the information that was captured or written down previously. Very, very easy to find it. It's also then got simple things like handwriting recognition. As you're jotting down notes in your meeting, you then need to put it onto a formal Word document after the meeting for minutes. You can then just go and extract the text and paste it onto a Word document and email it, and it really is as simple as that. So within the Air Command feature, there's tons of different options. It is customizable as well, so that you can go and choose which applications you want, or maybe find that you don't use. But it is very customizable, and like I say, it is exclusive to the Note because of the S Pen functionality. So that's it for now for the first episode of Write. Stay tuned, there are going to be more, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.
Yeah.